All right, chapter 4, no joy in soy. So now
Uh-huh.
you're going to take soy away. Tell
I,
us
it was,
about this
it's
whole.
so funny. So kind of the classic part of the virgin diet is that you take one food and you swap it for something else. And when I first did this, there were not a lot of alternatives. I mean, there was a lot of gluten-free junk food is what I'll call it. I said, if you weren't eating cake before, don't start eating cake now because it's gluten-free. But there weren't a lot of different options beyond soy milk. Like now there's coconut milk and almond milk and hemp seed milk and flaxseed milk. I mean, it's so. Here's the challenge with soy. If you look at, there was a study done on Japanese men in Hawaii that found that those who ate tofu 3 times a week, they were talking about moderate soy consumption, had smaller, like their brains were basically shrinking. We know that soy can lead to dementia. It lowers thyroid function. It has trypsin inhibitors that can impact your pancreas. So, but the biggest thing is really that impact on your thyroid. Then the other issue is the way we're consuming soy. Number one, soy is right there with corn in terms of one of the most genetically modified crops. And why do they modify the crop? So they can spray the heck out of it, right?
And feed it to
So,
poor cows.
and then to feed it to the cows and the chickens, it's just disaster. So you've got, and fish, they're feeding fish
They're
soy.
feeding fish, the salmon, that's right, farmed salmon.
It is ridiculous. Like, talk about really messing up Mother Nature. So it's genetically modified. It's impacts your hormones, especially thyroid. And if your thyroid's not working well, nothing is going to be working well. And if you were going to eat it back how it was eaten thousands of years ago, it was used, by the way, thousands of years ago to put nitrogen back in the soil. It wasn't thousands of years ago developed so that it would be a food crop. But then when they started using it as food, they realized that in order to get rid of the phytates and lectins that would block mineral absorption, they had to heavily ferment it before eating it. So in traditional cultures, and I know because I lived in Japan, you ate it heavily fermented and it was organic. So it wasn't soy ice cream. It wasn't, right? I mean, it wasn't soy chips, soy hot dogs.
Exactly.
And I think as we went into
fake foods,
all that fake food, we have this thing in our industry, maybe you've gone to it, called Expo West, and it's the biggest supposedly natural foods conference in the world, but it's the biggest manufactured crappy junk foods, trying to pose as health foods. So, I'm sorry, soy ice cream, like, you're supposed to eat as close to nature as possible. Exactly. And soy ice cream is not a health food. It's just not.
No, it is not. All right. So all soy is out. And again, I'm assuming not even fermented soy.
This is out for the first 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
As you let your immune system come down, calm down, you're giving your body a chance to reset. You're starting to establish a new normal. So you see what foods, what feeling good really feels like. And then we'll see at the end of that time, is this something that you could eat, very organic, fermented every once in a while or not?
And for everyone out there who's watching this and going, geez, that's such a long time. I did it for 18 months, people. No soy, no
3 weeks, it's not even a credit card bill.
It's nothing,
Stop
right?
it.
18 months.
Yeah.
This is nothing. Like, you'll blink and it'll be over.
Well, plus there's great alternatives for every single thing. So, I mean, first of all, no one's going to tell me they really love tofu. I don't believe you.
I do have a really good tofu recipe, but yes.
Yeah, gross.
You gotta do things to it.
We have so many great options out there that I find that people don't miss the foods at all. In fact, they like the new foods usually better.
I think so.